Thank you for joining us. I'm Courtney Cole with a WBZ News update and a look at our top stories. Governor Maura Healey declared a state of emergency before the storm's arrival, and during a press conference, she explained why.
Do this because it's necessary to get assets in place before anything lands here in Massachusetts. It puts us in the best possible position to be able to respond in the ways that we need. This includes both positioning equipment and personnel.
Now, Healey said the National Guard will also be available to help if needed. And tonight, after this evening's commute, all ferry service will be suspended because of the storm. That's going to be through tomorrow. That includes the MBTA and Steamship Authority. You can count on us here at WBZ for the latest on Hurricane Lee. Check out the updated tracking maps. We have a blog by our weather team that is consistently updated, as well as video forecasts. You can check all that out anytime on our website. That's WBZ.com. There's a new warning in Leominster. City officials say the bridge on Exchange Street could collapse at any moment, and people should just avoid the area. Meanwhile, crews are racing to backfill the damaged Barrett Park Pond Dam, which already gave way on Monday. The WBZI team obtained a series of letters that the state sent to Leominster officials after the dam was found structurally deficient and in poor condition as far back as 2006. But state officials, they never followed through with threats of fines. Leominster's mayor says designs and permits to replace it were done before this happened. And the Sumner Tunnel set to close again tonight. This is just 2 weeks after it fully reopened. MassDOT will continue its weekend restoration project. That means the tunnel will be closed tonight. That'll begin at 11 p.m. and will reopen Monday morning at 5 a.m. This is the first of 8 planned weekend closures until the end of the year. And as we continue to track Hurricane Lee's arrival, we want to get a check of your next weather forecast with meteorologist Zack.
Next weather alert continues for Hurricane Lee. Tropical storm warnings in effect for the entire coastline of Massachusetts, as we should be prepared. Rain, wind, high seas, all going to be on the menu. The rain is the least of those 3 components. Wind likely peak gusts between 60 and nearly 70 miles per hour for the Outer Cape as well as Nantucket, and the high seas likely affecting those typical prone areas that unfortunately could be dealing with a little bit of beach erosion too. The farther south and east you go, the closer to the actual energy. By the time we go off in the North Shore, Cape Ann, yes, you guys are still in the midst, but the worst of it is certainly going to be from Provincetown to Chatham and out towards the island of Nantucket. Starting tonight, initial indications aren't going to be all that impressive. The breeze is going to kick around. We'll get some spotty showers in those exact locations east of Buzzards Bay, but by the time we wake up on Saturday morning, I think most of the effects are going to be felt for coastal Massachusetts. There will be some coastal flooding involved. Not expecting major storm surge, but some inundation is going to be possible, which means immediate shoreline roads could be flooded out. Make sure that we are not driving into any flood waters. We do not want a scene like we had earlier this week in northern Worcester County. As of now, we're still sitting hundreds of miles away from the island of Nantucket, but it's moving to the north at 18 miles per hour. This is the fastest that I've seen this storm actually rising. And as that happens, it's going to be a pretty progressive wave, which is sparing great news for us here in southern New England. Oddly enough, not a huge issue outside of the 495 belt, mainly just cloudy skies. There could be some isolated rain early afternoon. Some dangerous rip currents associated with the North Shore, Cape Ann, and obviously Cape Cod and Nantucket going to be a little bit closer to the system. Who's the first to also see some of the rain chances late tonight? So anyone with Friday evening plans, you're doing just fine. Friday night lights doing great as well. In fact, probably feeling more like fall than we've had so far this season. Waking up on Saturday morning, the rain is coming at a pretty good clip though. A few steady downpours, not expecting much in the way of severe weather, but there will be increased wind speeds right around the 6 o'clock hour. So within an hour or two of sunrise, this is probably going to be the worst of the effects. We've already seen weakened branches, weakened trees, so outages are part of the equation. Thankfully, it's not all that long living. As you notice, we're sort of breaking things apart as early as midday. For those around Metro West, Worcester County, you guys don't see anything at that point. It's all going to be pressing back to the east by the mid to late afternoon. May do enough out to the west to actually shape up for a stunning sunrise. Still going to be cloudy as we go to the coastal areas, and there still could be some storm inundation as well. Anywhere from 50 to nearly 70 mile per hour peak gusts from Hyannis to Chatham and Nantucket. Noticeably lower values, but again, still some isolated damage possible for interior spots, and the peak of this is going to occur mainly overnight prior to sunrise and then diminish rather rapidly as we get this system out of the way. The most prone areas to the storm flood potential, we probably got the backside of Cape Ann, South Shore, Cape Cod Bay, and Nantucket. I think Cape Cod Bay is really going to be our focal point here as we're going to line that high tide up right around 1:30 in the afternoon. Most of the concern, though, is already rising to the north and east. So actually the main effects are going to be in the overnight low tide, which hopefully will spare us once again. Rain, again, not a huge component here, half to maybe a full inch overall. Saturday is the big issue. Sunday sees much better improvement. Mostly sunny skies. We're clearing everything out from west to east. A warm day with the 80s returning in the second half. And by the time we go into that evening and kick off to the Patriots, all things are going to be looking up with starry skies. We still have a few more showers in the midst for early next week, but otherwise it's a fall trend thereafter. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are spectacular.
All right, thank you, Zach. I'm Courtney Cole. This has been a WBZ News Update.